So I haven't actually started working yet, but what has been very clear early on is that whilst many states and obviously therefore many hospitals have been managing in a similar way to Canada with a real restriction on the drugs that people can prescribe and therefore the therapeutic regimens that you use for treating COVID.
Dakota Christensen for Rebel News. Allow me to ask you a question. If you had the chance right now to take your family and flee from Canada, would you? As Canada becomes increasingly less free by the day, many individuals are taking significant measures to get out. Like this Canadian couple who was recently interviewed by my colleague Tamara Ugolini, who decided to sell everything and make their escape to Mexico.
Just to clarify, you're leaving Canada. Tell us where you're going. What's happening?
We're going to Mexico to start. I'm not sure we'll stay there. I mean, we're going with one suitcase and zero regrets. Tomorrow, that's our motto. And we've whittled everything down here to a suitcase each, and which was hard to do, let me tell you. But we're that driven to get out of here. I've just had enough.
Another individual in this very same vein is my guest in this video, an emergency room physician who formerly worked the ER at a hospital in Ontario. I say formerly as this emergency room doctor also made the significant decision to leave Canada and to make his escape to the United States. Now, this doctor needed to remain anonymous so that he could speak with me freely without fear of repercussions, because he, even though he's left Canada, still needs to maintain good relations with his former certification board, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario, in order to qualify for board certification to work as a doctor in the United States. I had the opportunity to sit down with this doctor and ask him a few very important questions. I wanted to learn more about what made him decide to flee Canada and to get his thoughts, as a doctor with years of experience working at a Canadian hospital, on the vaccine mandates and the severe healthcare staff shortages that we're presently suffering with across our country. At Rebel News, we appreciate the bravery of anyone who has come forward with important information for the public. That's why we have created a special intake form for whistleblowers to come forward and expose important details about the lockdowns, restrictions, vaccines, healthcare, and more. If you are a pandemic whistleblower, whether inside government, law enforcement, inside a business, a hospital, a care home, a pharmaceutical company, a laboratory, and you have information you think the public must know, then please go to pandemicwhistleblower.com and fill out our form. If we can verify your identity and substantiate your claims, we will give you a platform to come forward and to speak freely, and we will keep you completely anonymous.
The decision to make the move was really on multiple fronts. The geopolitical front was one big one. A rather big thing for me now a few years ago was the way that the treatment of Sun News and the way that therefore there's been just a complete erosion subsequent to that of right-wing views and conservative media and conservative opinions in Canada. I've worked in England. I've seen what it's like there. The medical system there is very good in terms of the medicine, generally speaking, that it practices. It tries to divorce itself as much as possible from influences from pharmaceutical companies and so on. It will always be slightly influenced by that, but it tries to do it as much as possible. And obviously, based on the funding model and everything, there's a great deal more independence in the thoughts around how to write guidelines and therefore create treatment plans. And Canada, I have to admit, is somewhere in the middle between England and America. So I haven't actually started working yet, but what has been very clear early on is that whilst many states and obviously therefore many hospitals have been managing in a similar way to Canada with a real restriction on the drugs that people can prescribe and therefore the therapeutic regimens that you use for treating COVID.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Unfortunately, you are watching this on YouTube, and the censorship overlords on YouTube do not like what we have to say. I would love to show you this full video, so please click on the link in the description below to watch this full report in its entirety on one of our alternative platforms.